Nobody saw this twist coming, because just when fans thought things were calm, whispers started circulating that Teyana Taylor allegedly uncovered something about Pierre that was never meant to leave the shadows. And what she's rumoured to have said behind closed doors has the internet in absolute meltdown. We're not talking about a vague disagreement. We're not talking about harmless gossip. We're talking about a secret that insiders claim could flip public perception overnight. And a supposed warning that has people asking whether this situation is about to explode into full-blown public drama. Now let's be clear. There is no confirmed statement, no verified scandal, and no official accusation from either side. But that hasn't stopped social media from dissecting every move, every unfollow, and every cryptic caption like it's evidence in a high-stakes trial. Because here's where it gets intense. Fans noticed subtle changes, energy shifts, posts that felt pointed, comments that disappeared. And then, according to online chatter, a private confrontation that allegedly included a threat to clear the air if things didn't stay respectful. Clear the air about what? That's the question setting timelines on fire. Is this just algorithm-driven exaggeration? Or did Teyana really uncover something she's ready to expose? Because if what insiders are hinting at is even partially true, this isn't just relationship tension. This is a ticking clock. The first clue wasn't loud. It was subtle. A missing tag. A deleted comment. A shift in tone that only the most observant fans would catch. But when the names Teyana Taylor and Pierre started trending in the same sentence, subtlety evaporated. Because when two public figures known for moving with control suddenly generate tension online, the internet assumes there's fire behind the smoke. Let's anchor this clearly from the start. There is no verified public statement confirming that Teyana exposed a secret. There is no official accusation, no confirmed confrontation. Everything fueling this narrative right now is built on online speculation, cryptic activity, and insider-style whispers that have not been independently verified. But that hasn't stopped the storm. It began when fans noticed what appeared to be a digital shift between the two. A post that once had visible interaction no longer did. A supportive comment that was screenshotted days earlier suddenly couldn't be found, the kind of small details that normally wouldn't mean much, until people start watching closely. And people were watching closely. Because Teyana is not known for subtle energy shifts. She's expressive, intentional, controlled when she wants to be. So when followers began noticing that her captions took on a sharper edge, lines about truth, respect, and never playing with my name, speculation started building fast. None of those captions mentioned Aaron directly, but timing creates implication, and implication spreads faster than confirmation. Meanwhile, Aaron maintained public composure. No reactive posts, no visible change in tone, just business as usual, appearances, promotions, quiet confidence. But that contrast only fueled the narrative further. Because when one party appears reflective and the other appears untouched, the internet fills in motive. Then came the alleged whisper. An anonymous entertainment blog claimed that there had been a private disagreement involving information that wasn't meant to surface. No details, no receipts, just a suggestion that Teyana discovered something unexpected. And once the word secret entered the chat, it was over. Social media detectives went into full analysis mode. Was it professional, personal, financial, reputational? No one knew, but everyone had theories. Some speculated it involved behind-the-scenes collaboration drama. Others guessed it could relate to overlapping circles in the industry. A few even tried to connect dots that had no confirmed connection at all. And that's the anatomy of digital exposure culture. A vague hint becomes a viral theory within hours. Another development escalated things further. A live session clip surfaced where Teyana responded vaguely to a fan asking about keeping it classy. She reportedly said, "I keep it classy until I don't." No names. No elaboration. But that sentence ignited timelines. Because now the narrative wasn't just that she knew something, it was that she might reveal it. Let's pause here again. There is no verified evidence that Teyana has threatened to expose Pierre. No confirmed recording of a direct threat. No documented plan to reveal private information. What exists are interpretations of tone and timing. But interpretation, when amplified by millions, becomes perceived intent. The most explosive theory circulating is that she confronted him privately and allegedly warned that if her name continued being handled a certain way publicly, she would clear the air. Clear the air about what? No confirmed answer, but the phrase itself is powerful, because clearing the air suggests information, and information suggests leverage. Fans began rewatching past interviews between both individuals. An old red carpet clip was reposted with captions suggesting tension. A friendly interaction months ago was reinterpreted as forced. None of these clips contained evidence of wrongdoing. But hindsight editing is persuasive. Another layer complicating this is public expectation. Teyana has built a brand on self-possession, on not tolerating disrespect. So when her tone shifts even slightly, now fans assume it signals boundary enforcement. Aaron, known for a more reserved public persona, hasn't engaged in visible online sparring. That silence has been interpreted in multiple ways. Some believe it signals innocence. Others believe it signals strategic calm. But without confirmation, both interpretations remain speculation. One particularly viral thread claimed that if the alleged secret involves professional integrity, the fallout could be serious. That speculation gained traction fast, even though no specific allegation has been substantiated. This is how narrative escalation works. Vague suggestion, amplified theory, emotional reaction, perceived confirmation. Within 48 hours, commentary channels were framing this as imminent exposure. She's about to drop something. He better respond. This could get ugly. Yet neither party has made a direct public accusation. That contrast, loud speculation versus quiet reality, is what makes this moment so volatile. Because the story right now isn't built on documented fact. It's built on anticipation. And anticipation creates tension. There's also the possibility that nothing dramatic happened at all. That a minor disagreement was exaggerated. That algorithmic amplification turned subtle distance into scandal. But once secret and threat enter a headline, neutrality fades. Another angle fueling speculation is timing within industry cycles. Both individuals have visible projects and public momentum. Some critics argue that controversy benefits engagement. Others say reputational risk outweighs clicks. But until someone clarifies, the vacuum remains. The key distinction here is important. No confirmed exposure has happened. No verified secret has been revealed. No documented threat has been issued publicly. What exists is energy shift plus interpretation. And in today's digital ecosystem, that's enough to create a wildfire. Right now, the tension is less about what was said and more about what might be said. That might is powerful. Because once audiences believe there's information waiting in the wings, every post becomes loaded, every caption feels coded, every silence feels intentional. The internet is waiting for one move, one statement, one live session, one confirmation. Until then, the narrative hangs in suspension, fueled by curiosity rather than clarity. And curiosity, when paired with fame, is explosive. And by the second wave of speculation, the story wasn't about a subtle energy shift anymore. It became about leverage. Because once the internet convinced itself that Teyana Taylor knew something about Pierre that hadn't surfaced publicly, the narrative escalated from curiosity to countdown. Countdown to exposure. Countdown to receipts. Countdown to alive. And that's where things got dangerous. Again, let's ground this clearly. There is no verified evidence that Teyana has exposed a secret. There is no confirmed public accusation against Aaron Pierre, no documentation, no official statement. Everything circulating right now is interpretation, layered over timing. But timing can be powerful. After that cryptic "I keep it classy until I don't" comment resurfaced, fans began analysing her recent posts with microscopic intensity. Or a caption about "never shrinking yourself for comfort" was interpreted as shade. A reposted quote about loyalty being rare was framed as a message. None of these posts mentioned Aaron directly. But when two names trend together, the audience fills in the blank. Meanwhile, Aaron's social media presence remained steady. Promotional appearances, professional photos, no reactive commentary, no defensive posture. That composure only amplified tension. Because in viral culture, silence is interpreted as either maturity or strategy, and strategy implies there's something to manage. The phrase that really ignited speculation came from an anonymous entertainment account claiming there had been a behind-the-scenes ultimatum. According to that post, which has not been independently verified, Teyana allegedly warned that if her reputation was misrepresented publicly, she would set the record straight. No context, no details, just implication. But the implication alone triggered narrative escalation, because "set the record straight" suggests misinformation. Misinformation suggests damage. Damage suggests stakes. And once stakes enter the chat, audiences lean forward. One viral theory claims the alleged secret could involve professional dealings rather than personal drama. Others speculate it could relate to private conversations mischaracterized publicly. A few extreme theories even attempt to connect unrelated industry gossip to this situation. Without evidence. This is where digital storms become self-sustaining. When facts are absent, imagination fills the void. Commentary channels began framing it as a standoff. She knows something. He's staying quiet. Who blinks first? But framing it as a standoff implies confirmed conflict. There is none publicly documented. Still, the tone online shifted from curiosity to expectation. Expectation of a reveal. Expectation of confrontation. Expectation of exposure. And expectation creates pressure. Some fans began urging Teyana to drop it. Others warned her to protect her peace. Supporters argued that if she feels misrepresented, she has every right to clarify. Critics cautioned against escalating something that hasn't been confirmed. Meanwhile, Aaron's supporters argued that vague insinuations can unfairly damage reputations. They pointed out that speculation alone can create suspicion, even when no wrongdoing exists. That's the hidden risk here. The mere suggestion of a secret can alter perception permanently, even if nothing is ever revealed. Another wrinkle emerged when a podcast clip resurfaced where Teyana discussed boundaries in professional relationships. The clip wasn't about Aaron specifically, but in the current climate, it was reframed as foreshadowing. That's the power of hindsight editing. You take neutral content and layer narrative on top. Suddenly, everything feels intentional. The most explosive development so far hasn't been a statement, it's been anticipation. Anticipation that something will be said. Anticipation that something is being held back. Anticipation that this silence is temporary. And anticipation is combustible. But here's what's critical. There is still no confirmed exposure, no verified secret revealed, no official allegation made, only energy shifts and viral interpretation. The longer this tension remains unresolved, the more dramatic the imagined reveal becomes in people's minds. Because the internet doesn't do small secrets. It assumes scale. If she knows something, people assume it must be huge. If she's holding back, people assume it must be damaging. But the reality could be far less dramatic. It could be a private misunderstanding, a minor professional disagreement, a misinterpreted interaction blown out of proportion. Without confirmation, scale is illusion. Another element intensifying the narrative is brand identity. Teyana is known for not tolerating disrespect. That reputation makes even subtle energy shifts feel significant. When she posts about boundaries, it carries weight. Aaron is known for measured professionalism. That image makes his silence appear deliberate. So both public personas amplify the drama, even without action. That's the paradox. Their reputations make the speculation feel plausible, even without proof. One particularly viral comment summed up the mood. If she speaks, it's going to shake the room. That sentiment reflects anticipation, not evidence. But anticipation is enough to keep timelines buzzing. And that's where we stand right now. A narrative built on cryptic captions, deleted comments, anonymous blog claims, reinterpreted interviews, and silence. Or no direct confrontation, no confirmed wrongdoing, no documented exposure. Yet the pressure builds. Because in digital culture, unresolved tension feels incomplete. People want resolution, they want clarity, they want a statement. But sometimes, there isn't a dramatic secret waiting to explode. Sometimes, there's just misread energy amplified by millions. If Teyana addresses this directly, the narrative could stabilize immediately. If Aaron addresses it, speculation could collapse. If neither does, this may fade as quickly as it flared. For now, we're watching a potential exposure that hasn't happened. A secret that hasn't been revealed. A threat that hasn't been confirmed. But the expectation of all three is enough to keep the internet on edge. And in the world of viral narratives, edge is everything. By the third phase of this viral spiral, the story has almost completely detached from whatever sparked it in the first place. Because now, it's not about a deleted comment. It's not about a cryptic caption. It's about expectation. The expectation that Teyana Taylor is holding something explosive. The expectation that Aaron Pierre knows exactly what that something is. And the expectation that, at any moment, someone is going to press go live and shake the room. But here's the grounding reality. There has still been no confirmed exposure. No verified secret revealed. No documented public threat issued. What we're watching unfold is tension amplified by digital interpretation, not established fact. And yet, the pressure feels real, because the longer both remain publicly silent about each other, and the more the internet leans into the idea that silence equals strategy. Strategy implies stakes. Stakes imply danger. And danger is irresistible to viral culture. At this stage, the narrative has split into two dominant camps. Camp 1 believes Teyana uncovered something serious, whether personal or professional, and is choosing restraint for now. They interpret her recent posts about boundaries and respect as coded messages. They believe if pushed, she would reveal everything. Camp 2 believes this entire situation is an overblown algorithmic storm built from vague timing and fan projection. They argue that attaching the word secret without proof is unfair and potentially harmful. Both camps are operating without verified evidence. But that hasn't slowed the momentum. One of the most intense developments in this third wave wasn't even a new event. It was a shift in tone. Commentary channels stopped asking, "Is there something?" and started asking, "When will she speak?" That subtle shift transforms speculation into countdown. And countdown creates narrative gravity. Aaron's continued composure has become part of the story itself. His public presence remains steady. Promotional appearances, professional updates, no visible defensive posture. To some, that signals innocence. To others, it signals calculated calm. But composure does not equal confirmation of anything. It simply means he hasn't escalated. Teyana's online activity has also remained measured. No direct naming, no inflammatory language, no obvious exposure attempt. But because she has previously demonstrated that she won't tolerate disrespect publicly, even her restraint feels intentional. That's the paradox. If she were chaotic, the narrative would frame her as emotional. Because she's calm, the narrative frames her as strategic. In digital culture, neutrality rarely exists. Another element fueling the tension is the way past content keeps resurfacing. Interviews from months ago are being clipped and reinterpreted. Casual comments about energy shifts are now treated as prophetic. Even unrelated industry rumors are being stitched into this storyline without substantiation. That's how viral mythology builds. You take fragments, you attach them to a compelling theme, in this case, secret, and you let imagination do the rest. The most explosive part of this entire situation may actually be the assumption that there is something explosive. When audiences expect a dramatic reveal, they mentally inflate the scale of whatever might surface. But without confirmation, scale is fiction. There's also a deeper conversation happening underneath the spectacle, about boundaries, about public image, about how quickly reputations can be shaped by implication rather than evidence. The mere suggestion that someone knows something can permanently alter perception, even if nothing is ever revealed. That's the risk of ambiguous viral narratives. Aaron's name has now been paired with the word secret across countless posts, without verified detail. Teyana's name has been paired with threat, without confirmed quote. Those associations linger, or even if the entire situation fizzles, which brings us to the possible outcomes. 1. Teyana directly addresses the speculation and clarifies that there is no dramatic secret. The tension dissolves instantly. 2. Aaron addresses the narrative and dismisses the insinuations. The countdown collapses. 3. Neither addresses it, and the storm slowly fades as the algorithm shifts focus to the next trending topic. Right now, we are suspended between anticipation and ambiguity. There is no documented confrontation, no confirmed ultimatum, no exposed information. Yet the emotional weight online feels heavy, because viral culture thrives on incomplete stories. Incomplete stories invite projection. Projection creates drama, and drama sustains engagement. If there truly was something severe enough to damage reputations, we would likely see more concrete signals, statements, legal responses, visible fallout. Instead, what we have is tension built from interpretation. That doesn't mean nothing happened privately. It means nothing verifiable has been presented publicly. And that distinction matters. In the absence of proof, the responsible conclusion is uncertainty, not accusation. But uncertainty doesn't trend. Expectation does. Right now, the internet is leaning forward, waiting for a reveal that may never come. And if nothing dramatic happens, this entire saga will stand as another example of how quickly digital audiences can construct a storyline from fragments, a deleted comment, a sharp caption, an anonymous blog hint, and silence. Silence is not confirmation. Silence is not guilt. Silence is not strategy by default. Sometimes, silence is simply refusal to engage with noise. Until either party directly clarifies, this remains what it has been from the start. A viral narrative built on anticipation, not evidence. And anticipation, while powerful, is not proof. But in the age of trending tension, proof is often the last thing people wait for. So now the real question is this: are we witnessing the calm before a major reveal? Or did the internet just build an entire scandal out of vibes and timing? Because let's be honest, no confirmed exposure, no verified secret, no direct accusation. Yet the tension feels massive. That alone says something about how quickly narratives form when two public figures trend in the same sentence. What do you think? Is Teyana holding something back? Is Aaron just ignoring noise? Or is this all algorithm-fueled drama with no real fire behind it? Drop your honest take in the comments, but keep it smart. Speculation spreads fast, and clarity matters. If you want updates the second anything official drops, A statement? A live? An interview? Anything that shifts this story, make sure you hit like and subscribe right now. Turn on notifications so you don't miss the next development. Because if someone finally clears the air, the timeline won't just react, it'll explode.